just for the heck of it, I'm gonna take a look at my 1954 5.5. And now all I did was, when I first got it home, I opened up the cover and I seen it was loaded with wasps. Most of the nests looked like they were vacant. But I'm gonna pop the cover off and show you what I see inside. I only saw one wasp, and he seemed to fly away, so I don't think he was very happy. All right, so let me open up this cover. A little on the tight side there. It's got some issues I noticed yesterday, but just going to evaluate it for fun. Now there's no wasp nests inside the cover, but we got them there. So I'm going to blow all this out of here. No mice or remnants of a nest, so that's better than worrying about that darn hantavirus. So let me blow it off and just see what happens. Let's see if anybody's flying critters are still in there. Looks like they might be in the carburetor too. But anyway, let's see. Well, I noticed one of the pins broke off with the rubber bumpers. I actually had pins that I had machined in my shop to replace them. I just got to drill it out and press them in. So that's not a problem for me. I fixed a number of those through the years. This year, I think it was the last year, they used kind of like an aircraft nut plate to lock the front of the hood with these butterfly clamps, something like a Zeus fastener, basically. But the nut plate's off on this side, so I'll have to come up with something. I might even have nut plates for that in my stock. I'll have to look. And somebody put a piece of a broom handle on here for pull start. So I went right away and I just dug out I think this is the proper grip. I think in 55 they went to the one piece with the Johnson logo on it without the two screws. I'm not sure, but anyway, I've seen pictures of this year motor with this T-handle on it. So I'm going to put that on there. And there's some of the wasp nests right there. And when I did check it the other day, it wasn't seized. So I'm going to pull it to see if it pull starter pulls back. We'll see. Oh, don't even grab. But you can see she turns. That's a good thing. This would be an excellent motor to restore because it looks so terrible. Be perfect motor to restore. Well, I'm not going to do it, at least not for a while. Right now, it's just going to, like I said before, it's going to lay it on the back burner. But I just want to get a better look at it. I mean, this one, well, it seemed like the magneto might be stuck. But the twist grip turns. All the carburetor knobs turned. Choke works. So just for the heck of it, I'm going to pop the pull starter off. Inspection cover on the flywheel. I want to see if it's got cracked coils in it. I'm pretty sure they are. So until I get to that step, to that stage. So after pulling the pull starter off, all the pulls are rusted to the restraints. This way, it's preventing it from engaging with the flywheel, with the teeth on this spur gear, as I call it. So it just has to be taken apart and cleaned, so that's a good thing. Let me pull the 3 nut bolts out and see what the coils look like. I'd be very shocked if they were replaced. You're going to see, just like me, if the coils are cracked. Here we go. Are they cracked or are they not cracked? That is the question. Cracked. Let's see if they change one at one point in its lifetime. Let me check the next one. Oh, it's got nice compression. Yep, cracked. So it's another coil change. All these motors, unless they were changed, most of them haven't. Anytime you get a motor that's been sitting for years, decades in a shed, they're going to have cracked coils. But that's just the way it is. But that's okay. It's all part of bringing the dead back to life. Okay? All right, so that's it for this motor for now. Well, I got sidetracked again. 1954 Johnson 5.5. I got started with it. I couldn't stop. I've been neglecting my past project, but that's the way it goes. There's no rules. I can pretty much do what I please here. This is a fun channel. But anyway, I'm just going to give you an update on what I've been doing. I got involved with this motor with the cover first. The first thing I did, I had to install a pin. I've done this a few times on the motors. I mentioned that before. I installed that pin. It was made when I was, before I retired. I had a friend of mine turn them down on a lathe. I just drill a hole and I press them in because that was broke off. I also put a hinge pin in here because there was coat hanger was in there. It was very loose. And that was that for that. The bracket here was missing. In fact, let me show you. Oh, what I forgot to mention is I put bushings in here. Well, what I use is, I have this tape. When I worked for the airlines, we used to do a lot of quick fiberglass, even aluminum, small damage repairs. And they call it speed tape. It's basically aluminum tape to anything. And it'll stay on on an airplane's fuselage at 600 miles an hour. So, but what I use it for, sometimes I'll use shim stock or old feeler gauge. I'll take it and the ball was worn on the shifter here. It was back and forth like this. It was really sloppy. The arm was good. The arm, the diameter of the shaft on the arm was fine. But the bore was loose. So what I do is I just cut this in strips and I wrap it around the shaft and just kind of build it up instead of making it in bushing. It's quick, it's easy, it's aluminum, so it'll last for a while. and I put a lot of grease on it, and that took care of that problem. I also have a little thing I wanted to show you. This is one of 3 impeller trees I have. From this is like probably a third of the ones I have. I couldn't find the other trees. They're hanging somewhere in the garage. But anyway, this is one from all the mowers I've taken apart. Most of these impellers are still good. You know, you can use them in a pinch. But again, I always recommend buy new impellers and stay away from the imported ones. And I say imported. But this is where I'm up to now. So until next time, and it got really hot here too. It's in the almost mid-90s as I'm speaking. So everybody stay tuned. Sidetracked. The pull starter started the whole driving force to keep fixing other things on this stupid thing. I was putting a rope in there, replacing it, had wire in there. So I was putting a piece of rope in there, and this was all cracked and broke. And I tried a few times. I had the rope in there, and I couldn't get it to center properly because it's just a mess. So luckily, being a hoarder pays off. I keep saying it over and over again. I had a couple of these pull starters in my hoard, and I replaced the whole pull starter. No more big bolt here, and everything works fine. So, but what I end up doing is, what I wanted to show you basically is, here, the nut plate was missing that held the that side of the hood on. So, I used to work for the airlines. I used to work for Eastern Airlines. I was a line mechanic, and I worked in a sheet metal shop for a lot of years. And I had this tote box I made many years ago with all kinds of hardware in there, aircraft hardware. And this is the kind of nut plate I used. And I actually replaced, well, there was nothing there. I installed this where the old one was. The bolt pattern was a little bit different. Luckily, the holes didn't intersect when I drilled the holes. And what I had to do is grind this locking portion off on the end here, where it stepped down. That's where it locks the screw on the aircraft. There's a lock nut. And it also floats, too. And these are high temp nut plates. But anyway, I had to grind that off, and I ran a quarter 20 tap through it, because this is quarter 28. So the faster on the cover, this guy here is quarter 20. So, I mean, I ended up getting a couple, luckily I had a couple small 40 rivets, you know, button heads. I think it's the same rivets they used from the factory. The other side's the same thing. And I pressed it on. I put it in a vise. I took the bracket off. I have the set. I have a 40 rivet set. I put it in a vise. Actually, it's supposed to go in a rivet gun. But I actually put it in a vise facing up, and I use a punch and a hammer to compress it and tighten it up. And it worked great. Now the cover's, and I also changed the cylinder head, because this side ear was missing when I got the motor. The other side was good, but the pin was broken inside the cover. So apparently it must have fell over somewhere in its lifetime or got thrown around. So anyway, I changed the head, put the pin in there, put the nut plate back in here, and the cover's back to fitting the way it's supposed to fit, nice and tight. The lower unit, the water pump wasn't terrible. Whoops. Impeller's not bad, it's just really, you know, from memory, being in there for so many years. The housing's got some corrosion on the sidewall, so I ended up just changing the whole thing. Now, I didn't go new. I just went, because I have so many parts, I just found a really good housing, almost new, and a really good impeller, and I put it in the gear case. It's all installed, ready to go back up. So the only thing really left to do on this motor is probably Well, I know I got to change the coils just like I did on the Gale. So I'm going to change the coils. That'll probably be in the next video. And I'm going to put it all back together. Then change the coils, clean the points, and make sure the carburetor is nice and clean. And she should run just like the Gale. She's got good compression. The only other thing I want to say, if you work on these 54, 55 style motors with this kind of lower end, I don't work on too many of them, so it caught me off guard a little bit. But this baffle that goes right here hides when the power head's on the motor. You can't see this bolt. So I had to take this off, and it took a while to take it off. With heat, 3 different size common slot screws holding on. It wasn't easy to get off, but I got it off without breaking the screws because it just took my time. And that's pretty much it. It's just got to go together. I'm going to put it together probably today. And then tackle the points and the coils. And this guy should run. Then it just needs a paint job. And a perfect cannon to be painted. I mean, it's got to be one of the ugliest motors I've had. I've seen a few in my collection, but consider it's 1954, people. You know, it's amazing it's still around. It really is. So, all right, well, here I got the 57 parts motor that I built from a power head in the midsection. Rebuilt it. Anybody who follows my videos knows the story. If you don't, this motor was on my rack in my backyard without the lower unit, just the power head, no cylinder head, no carburetor. The flywheel was there, and that's it. No steering bracket, nothing. But just an update on it. That's the cover I'm going to throw on it for now. I have 57 covers, but they're a little bit raunchier than this one is. Just to give you an update on it, I still have not tried to start it yet, so we'll see what happens. And if I can put a faceplate on it too. And that's the update on the 57. Okay.